Yes, I want to look into having a fade. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Chris. 12345. Chris@gmail.com. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Mm, no, not really. That's okay. That was essentially the AI agent. I know that it didn't really book the time at 11 a.m., but it's because my calendar is actually a calendar that is based on the European time zone, and right now I'm not in Europe, so there is some mismatching going on there. But if we're gonna get into the video itself right now on how I actually built this entire thing, so I'm just gonna essentially. So in this case, I'm just gonna assume that you have logged into retail, so you're inside retail essentially. So let's say you're in retail. So then essentially what you need to do is you set up like pay as you go, and then you once you've done that you can add a phone number as well. It's super simple to add a phone number. You just need to verify your profile with your passport or ID or driver license, and once you've done that, then you can essentially call in batches, or you can also call with that phone number, make an outbound call if you want to. So yeah, but either way, in terms of like building this AI agent, like for calling, it's quite simple. You just go here, create agent, and then you do voice. And I'm just gonna open a second window, so I have to. But if you go in here, or wait, I'm just gonna create voice agent over here, and then we're gonna do single prompt agent in this case, and we're just gonna do start from blank, and that's really it. Uh, and then once we're in there, so in this case, I'm just gonna copy paste my prompt. I'm gonna share this in the comments below, so you can just copy it. You don't have to give me anything for that. But as you can see here, it's a very simple prompt. It's just like the role of the agent, the context, and here's the okay. Here's the role. Again, this is it's kind of the same thing because you give it the role up top, and then you kind of give it down here as well, and then you have how it should behave. And yeah, the thing with this agent is that you kind of need to tell them how to behave, and if you don't, they kind of don't behave the way you will accept them to behave, because you need to tell them. And then at the bottom, I will usually write my patches. And my patches are usually just based on what I notice when I work with the AI agents or bots, pretty much. That I noticed that, oh, this didn't really go the way I wanted to. Let's fix that with adding a small patch. And then as you see, I will just keep patching it until it starts working the way I want it, instead of rewriting this part over and over again. Because I've noticed that if you use an LLM to rewrite your prompt, it's just gonna tank it. It's just gonna tank it every single time, and it's far easier to write it yourself, have it like adjusted a bit, and then essentially patch it up. That's at least what has worked for me when I work with them. But once you've done that, then it's just about like user speaks first. That's fine. We're gonna add in some things here for n as well, which we can actually do right now. So if we click on function, we already have end call, right? And if we, just gonna put myself down there. If we didn't do add uh, custom function, we can add our own functions in here. And this is really simple. Like once you've done this, it's super simple because you can do this with anything. So either way, we have the check availability. We paste that in here, and then we have this will check the time on available time when it's available, and then you have the webhook, and that is the webhook of my server essentially. I'm gonna have to change that later on. But yep. And then, of course, we have the time. And I find it, you can use JSON. I pretty much use this field, the form, and then you can use the right details times the customer's request and then string. And that's really it. And then you can just save that. So great. We just create that. And then you do add again, custom function again, book appointment. It's a very simple thing here. And then we go in here and create an event in Google Calendar for a meeting. And then we copy our URL for that. And then we go back here. We take name, we take time, email, and service option. That's all you need. So we're just gonna do that. And I'm just gonna add, I think name was the first one. And then I think time was the next one, confirm time, and then the next one was email, customer email, and then we can do service option, which type of service we do. So this is essentially how it's going to look like when you're done. Confirm the time for appointment, customer email, customer name, which type of service. And once you've done that, so there you go. And then I do believe I don't have a knowledge base, and I did not really. I actually, so one thing I actually did add is that I added a call center because it kind of makes it more real. Because the way I'm thinking about it is like we don't want them to tell that they're talking with an AI, so we might want to add in things that kind of like confuses them in a way. That's also why the person that was talking is Spanish, and that can also help in terms of people like going like, oh, there's an accent, so maybe you're actually talking to a real person. You could also use an Indian voice if you wanted to. It will pretty much be the same case, you know. You just don't want them to like tell. If you don't want them to tell, like I've just seen that, yeah, using another having somebody have an accent might help in this case for them to go like, oh, am I talking with an AI or not? I don't know. But yeah, besides that, once that is done, we don't really touch these things over here. At least I didn't really do much with this. So that's essentially it for this. And of course, we need to select the voice. And I'm just gonna do Santiago, use voice, and then I use GTP real time instead of GTP 4.1 for this. And I didn't really change the language. I just kept it there, and I don't know why they changed that again. I'm just gonna do that. There you go, and that's really it. And then you just publish it, and can you just call it, I don't know, where one. And that's really it. So now what we need to do is go into n, and if we're just gonna have two flows. So these are the two flows: create appointment and book. So the first one we're gonna do is, and I'm just gonna go. We're just gonna add this webhook here, and for the webhook, we're just gonna change that to post. And as you remember, I copied the webhook URL, which I should probably have showed you before. But if you didn't know where to get that URL, you had to go into your n, copy this URL up here, and then go in here, go to the tool, and essentially paste it in here. So if you're in the create what is called create appointment, you will then go into book appointment and then paste it in here essentially, and then save it. So that's how you will get that URL. Once you have that URL, you will then go down to respond, and you're just gonna using respond to webhook node, and then we're gonna add an AI agent here, and we're just going to do define below. And in this case, I'm gonna paste all of this so you have access to it. But as you can see here, I'm just like getting the response from a retail. I'm just putting it on the right side. That's all I'm doing. So here is the service, email, name, and the confirmed time. So that's all we're doing here. So I just paste it in here as well because it's just gonna come from the left. Since we're using the JSON, it's gonna work with this as well. We're not really referencing any special node. And then of course we have a system prompt, and I'm going to share this one as well. But for this one, it's simply just telling it how to behave and what to expect. That's really all that is happening here. So I'm just gonna add the system message. There we go, and that's that. And then for the brain, you can use OpenAI. I just use OpenRouter because I just found that well, it works. So in this case, I actually use DeepSeek, so 3.2. So yeah. And then I also added a Gmail node, which is for sending the message. So we're gonna let the AI control who's to send it. Subject, the same thing. I'm probably gonna choose text since we don't want it to write out HTML, and then the message itself. That's fine. And then we gotta add another option. Let's remove the NNN attribution. I hate that. And then we're just gonna do where what is this? Send and confirmation send. Okay, we already have attendee. Perfect. Yeah. So that's really it. And then of course, another thing is that we kind of need to name this send confirmation email, and we're just gonna do _1 in this case, and then we need to go in here and you must call it created because that tool in here. In this case, it was smart enough to understand that, but yeah, that's it. And then I'm just gonna add in a calendar event, which is gonna be create event, and I'm just gonna do the same thing _1, and we're just gonna not let it select the calendar. That doesn't make any sense. We're just gonna do that, and I'm just gonna do that. And that's it. And here we're actually gonna choose the attendees. We're just gonna let it add attendees, and we're also gonna let it select the summary, which is the title of the meeting. There you go. And that's really it. So, and then check here. And as you saw, and then I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm just gonna go in here, and I'm just gonna change that to this. There you go. And that's really it. And then we also need to respond to webhook, which is just first incoming item, so that the response this bot gives, it will send it back to retail to the AI agent on the phone and just tell it like, hey, it's done. But this is essentially it. So this is essentially the AI agent for creating the appointment. And that's really it. So I'm just gonna do that. And then if we go into get availability, it's really kind of the same thing, really. So it's just like webhook, change this to post, you get the URL, change the response to using response to webhook node. Once you've done that, add the AI agent, and then define below. And for this one, we can actually just do the same. We can use customer request time. You can just copy it and just paste it here, because it's gonna be the exact same thing, since the web, like the is the first node that we're getting information from. We're not really referencing any node here. So as you can see here, it's just what the customer requested time is, and this is just a system prompt for how it should behave. Same thing here. We can just copy that and just paste it in here. Um, that's really it. If we paste it in here, and with this one, we actually tell it like, oh yeah, this is us, this is the opening times, etc., etc. You see, and once it knows that, we then attach an brain to it, open router, same thing here, DeepSeek. And when it comes to the models, one tip is to try out different models, because different models are better than others depending on what you wanted to do. So for this one, we don't want it to really create an event. We just want it to like check availability. So we're just gonna select the calendar, and then we're just gonna do start time, and that's really it. And we're not gonna do anything else. And then we're essentially done. And we might want to change that to _1. The only reason I do _1 is because we already have that. So you can't, two nodes cannot have the same name essentially. Then we can then using the like that. And that's there you go. And then of course we need to respond to webhook, first incoming item. Then you're done. This is quite literate. So now if you were to call this tool, it will have access to these because of the webhooks we use created. And that's how essentially it will be able to book and do actions on our behalf. So yeah, that's really it. I will share all of the prompts below in the comments. Hopefully it will be easy to get through them. But that's that. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.